Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
Hello everybody and welcome in. We are slacking today at our job. Holy moly. Alright, welcome in everybody. We are here today. It's Saturday. That means GTRC's on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. The Gran Turismo racing community presenting the GT4 Championship Series. 12-week series. We're on round 5. We head to Laguna Seca. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The very famous corkscrew here in California. So let's talk about the race today. Oh, Laguna, one of my favorite racetracks of all time in real life and in the game here. What else can I say about Laguna Seca? It's one of those tracks you either hate it or you love it. This one is just an incredible racetrack. It's short, so it is going to be a very quick lap time around here today. We're going to see 127s to 130s on average for during the race, I think, and qualifying especially here around Laguna Seca today. It is late morning on the racetrack. Our weather is, of course, ×5 weather variable. It is a grid start with a false start check, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, fastest first from qualifying. It is a BOP series with no tuning. Slipstream is real. Visible damage is on, and it is on light. It is 3 times tire wear and 4 times fuel consumption. Refueling speed is 3 liters per second, which is default, and it is a Group 4 series. So, what we're going to see here, ladies and gentlemen, is the racing medium tires are the only tires these drivers are allowed to use in the series. They can change them if they choose to. They don't have to. There is no required pit stop per se in the race, but with the way the settings are presented, it does typically require a minimum of at least 1 pit stop throughout the race, or it would be an awfully slow race. So this is our pro division. These drivers aren't going to let up just to save a little bit of extra fuel to try and stretch a no stop here. They're going to make their pit stop. They're going to base their strategy around at least 1 pit stop, and they're just going to send this thing. So this is a little bit of a different racetrack than we've been seeing. This one's not quite as open and not set up for the big power cars. This track is set up for the good handling cars. So we should suspect to see our typical power cars struggling a little bit here at Laguna Seca, especially with tire wear trying to get around this track a little bit quicker than, say, those mid-rear engine cars, our Ferraris, our Porsches, the Meganes, even some of the smaller, lighter cars like the Silvia and the Genesis will probably do quite well here. Our bigger cars like our Corvettes and our Supras, maybe not so much going to be a benefit here around the racetrack today. So I think we're going to see some interesting racing at Laguna Seca here today. And we're 4 minutes away from qualifying, so actually we're doing pretty good here on time. We got, let me catch up here. We got Michael coming in with the thumbs up. We got Kilty coming in with the like and the share on stream. As always, legend. Probably multiple shares. Appreciate that extra support. Share bomb and likes from a man. Hey, let's go. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm having an awesome day. Hope you are too, my dude. Hope you're having a great one over there across the way in the country here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So right now it appears to me like we have 11 drivers ready to race here today. We still have some time though, so that could change. So a little bit of a bigger field than we seen last round here, which of course was 2 weekends ago. So long series here, 12-week series, ladies and gentlemen, and these races are every other week. So these drivers get 2 weeks in between races here to prep and test and get ready for these races. And I think that is a big reason why we're seeing such good racing throughout the series. The drivers have plenty of time to prepare for them. So that always adds for some intrigue. But that also allows drivers really to home it in, and that can make for some difficult racing as well. I mean, the lobby for the most part is A to A plus drivers. We have some Bs in here as well, but it's a quick lobby, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolutely quick lobby. One of the quickest I think we've seen in GTRC so far to date, and it's been a blast to watch so far. So we'll flip you over to the big screen here in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring up our juicy track map again. Huge credit going out to Miss Devious here. We'll see her on track here this afternoon as well, racing in this pro division. She is the mastermind behind these absolutely amazing track maps. So this is a map of Laguna Seca. We're just going to give you some base information here. Do you have a broadcaster, Brandon? Alright, so Laguna Seca, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just some quick details about the racetrack here. It's 2.24 miles, which relates to 3.6 kilometers. It has 11 left and right hand turns. It is a tarmac surface. It is a real world circuit, ladies and gentlemen. They have all kinds of races here all season long. And there is an elevation change of 180 feet. The majority of that elevation change in the corkscrew itself. Alright, go without him. If he's not there, just go without him. I'll take care of it after. Make sure you share the replay when you're done, please. Brandon coming in with that share and that like on stream as well. Much love. Appreciate that extra support. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of love. We'll bring this back up throughout the broadcast. We always tend to get a little bit of time to slow down here during the broadcast, obviously. So we'll bring that back up during the broadcast. We'll talk a little bit more about Laguna Seca. But just a little taste and a little basic information. Can I take part in the race? No, you got to qualify, my dude. Appreciate you, though, Knudsen. I'm not sure if he got called into work or something, Brandon. I haven't heard from him yet this morning, so we'll get it all sorted afterwards. I got Dudson coming in with that thumbs up on the stream here as well, so we are about 1 minute away. So let's flip you over. You can see what I'm seeing here now. So this is our list. We got 11 drivers on track here out of the 16 potential spots. Of course, broadcaster being myself, your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Here as well. They may be doing a practice race at the lobby. Hair Razor is still set up for 7-lapper, by the way. Tattooed coming in over on YouTube. I'm doing good. Excited for this week's CYW3. Can't wait to launch the season off. Going to be wild and exciting. It is, Kilty. It is absolutely going to be wild and exciting. You are not wrong. Hey, appreciate you, Knudsen. We appreciate this guy over here, man, Mr. Knudsen. I mean, this guy is just all over the racing map. This guy just loves to race, and he's quick. He's quick. Alright, we're just going to check on everything. We do this right before we start qualifying, usually. Am lobby is a full grid today, ladies and gentlemen, as well. That is beautiful. If you got another driver that wants to come into Nolander's spot before it starts, feel free, dude. Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not subscribed to the GTRC YouTube yet, head on over there. Go to YouTube, search GTRC, and look for the logo that you see on the graphics here. And hit that subscribe button for us. We need 4 more subscribers over here at the GTRC YouTube to hit that 100 mark. Now, why? Why are you so worried about the 100 mark, you might ask? The 100 mark's important for pages on YouTube. That starts to open up some new tools to give the league at their disposal to help, of course, grow the reach within the platform. So that 100 subscriber mark is really, really important on YouTube as a growth factor. So we're 4 away. Let's see if we can smash that for the GTRC here this weekend too, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to those that are watching over on the GTRC YouTube as well. We got Gary coming in with the heart on the stream as well. We're just going to do a quick little catch up here. We're going to get our comments updating properly. We're looking good. Yeah, I don't know where Nolander is, Kilty. I haven't heard from him all day today. I hope he's doing alright. I know he hasn't been feeling well, so he just might, maybe he got called into work. It could be a number of things, right? Could be a number of things. Alright, chat, so as you can see, we're gonna flip back over to the other screen here for a minute. We're having a lobby reset here. Alright, so just bear with me here. I'm just going through some stuff. Clicking, a little bit of clicking, a little bit of clacking. We're just getting all situated in the right spots here. There we go. Alright. Yeah, Nolander's usually our broadcaster for our Pro-Am division, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to give it a minute for the drivers to get in first. I always like to try and let the drivers get in first before I jump into the lobby. I'm the broadcaster. All I need to be able to do is spectate, so it's more important that the drivers get into the lobby and are able to get on track, etc., etc., over myself first. So, yeah, no, I agree, Kilty. I agree, brother. You're on the same wavelength I'm on. Dang, that filled up quick. The drivers are ready, chat. The drivers are definitely ready. That's that juicy looking lobby here, chat. It is definitely a juicy looking lobby. Oh, we got another driver that just popped on in here. Oh, it's going to be a good one. It is definitely going to be a good one. 12 drivers on track here in the Pro Division today. Yeah, you betcha, Kilty. Alright, so we're just going to make sure. As soon as we get it back into the race screen here, we're going to make sure that we have some stream audio for everybody. How's that sound, hey? Yay! Alright, you're going to see a little quick screen flip. I'm just going to do it now. I was right, it wasn't working. Alright, we're back in business. So we did turn the volume up just a little tick on the game here today, so let me know how it sounds. If it's overbearing or if it's too loud, please feel free to let me know, and we can change it back very easily. So, alright, I'm ready whenever these guys are ready. It looks like quali is starting. So let's get our selves on spectator mode on track. And not on track. I mean, these guys wouldn't want me to come in here and beat them with no practice. That would look pretty bad, eh, chat? I would think so. Oh, the sexy voice. Oh, we appreciate you, Kelty. We appreciate you. All right, Dougie. Dougie is in the lead here as we're going around Laguna Seca here, ladies and gentlemen. So he is going to lead us around for the start of qualifying. So he's coming into the final corner now. So this is the out lap. So minute and a half laps here. We have a 10-minute qualifying. We're going to see, I think, 7 laps out of these drivers, ladies and gentlemen, if my math serves me correctly. I believe that's including the out lap, of course. So we are with Doug coming into T1. You're going to be braking at that first line that you see at the 150 meter board. You're going to stay on and just let the car rotate. You want a late exit here, as Doug did there, without the slide preferably. You're going to move it back over to the left side. You're going to brake at about that 2 board and set yourself up for the curb. You want to try and keep it in 3rd gear so you get more stability on entry. Here it's just a little lift depending on the car you're driving. Some cars you can just full send around there, clip that apex, watch out for the sausage. Move it back over to the right side here at the 100 meter board. You're on the brakes. Not too hard on the brakes. Mid-braking, catch that apex just like we see Doug there. Back on the power, let it float all the way out. Now the kink. We're going to be heading uphill here. We go to a downhill hard left transition. Just some drivers will tap the brakes. Some will just let off the throttle and coast around. It all depends on the car and how it handles the corner. We head back uphill. This is the fun part, ladies and gentlemen, the corkscrew. You're on the brakes right at the curbing, down into 2nd gear. Keep that car pointed straight downhill until you can see the exit and on it in 3rd gear. Float around, lift the throttle here, clip this apex back on the throttle, go around. At the 2 board, you're just tapping your brakes, roll it through the corner, and on the accelerator here, we're going to start braking just after the 100 meter board. And get ready for this very sharp left-hand 90-degree corner. Let the car roll out to the curbing. You can use all of it. Just be careful on the power in that green part of the curbing. And that's a lap around Laguna Seca. So let's see what Doug has here. His pole so far as Piggums comes around here right behind him. Let's see what Piggums can do. Piggums is going to take pole position. Miss Devious comes around. She's going to take 2nd. Tattooed Freak, he's going to sit in 4th. Just Penelope coming through here. She is going to stay in. She is going to go into 2nd. Holy delay there, Batman. We got Roses coming through into McGain here. Let's see what Roses does. He takes 2nd place. We got Jakey coming through here. It looks like a P7 for Jakey currently. We got Petrolhead coming through. It's going to be a P5 for Petrol. CRF in the Corvette's going to stay in 9th. We got Bufu Shidara, and this guy's been looking real good in practice here. He is definitely one to watch out for. Bufu Shidara sitting in 4th place. We got Mike coming through with the Genesis. It's going to be a P8 for Mike. And Hair Razor is going to be our last driver through in the Mustang here. Let's see what that Mustang has around Laguna. It's going to be a P5. So Piggum's currently holding down pole position. And where is Doug? Down in 8th place here. He's going to be the first driver to come back around the track. Let's see if he can improve on that P8 now. I may need your help later on. Want to test if I can. Stream to Twitch and race UIW at the same time without it affecting the racer lobby. Yeah, message me after, Kilty. Message me after. Yeah. I might be doing another broadcast here shortly too, so we got Doug coming in for tires. Thinking maybe tires. So it'll be Piggums to come through. Next is he was right in behind Doug here, so let's see Piggums as he comes through here on lap 2. So Doug's opting to get some fresh rubber on the car here, a little less fuel, all looking for a better time. 127.5 coming from Piggums here. Same thing with Roses. We're going to see Roses jump into pit lane here, and just Penelope is going to go into 2nd with a 27.877. Bufu Shidara, let's see what he's got next time around here. Now, like I said, these smaller, lighter, more handling cars are going to do very well around Laguna Seca here today. These, especially the MR cars. This track is designed for a mid-rear engine car. It's just the way these cars are designed to race. So we should expect to see these MRs in good shape today. And that's going to move them up to P3. Ooh, we got Jakey and Doug here. I think Doug was just letting Jakey by there. And he's just on the beginning of the lap. We got Petrohead on the we got Hair Racer coming through here. He's not going to improve on that time. We got Miss Devious coming through here right now, and she's just coming up into the kink here. So we'll sit with Miss Devious and just Penelope here as they come around, and both our women competitors nose to tail here in qualifying in the pro division. We have another woman competitor in that pro-am division as well, ladies and gentlemen. We love seeing it. We're absolutely thrilled to see them coming in and racing in the leagues here. They've been doing very well all season, so it's been a fantastic dynamic. Ooh, and just Penelope was backing off there a little tiny bit. It looked like she was going to go through there, but just backed off just a tiny little bit, and that's the problem with qualifying near other cars, right? I like to qualify in big, wide open spaces and clean air. You can see Penelope's going to go in, she's going to get some new tires and try to do exactly that, get some clean air. Big exit there for Miss Devious, big sideways spin there as we got Tattooed Freak coming around just in front of her there. We'll go see where he settles in as well. And she's going to stay in 8th. So where is Freak here? Freak is currently sitting 12th with that Jag. Pigham's still sitting in pole position, 25.4, so he improved on his lap last time around. Penelope sitting in 2nd. We got Bufu Shadar just coming around that final corner. Let's see if he gets it a little bit quicker this time around here. And we just had a whole gaggle of cars go through there. And here comes Bufu Shadar. It's going to be an improvement. It's a 127.5, so it's good enough for 2nd place, but still not that pole position. Just Penelope coming out of pit lane. We got Roses coming across here. It's not going to be an improvement. No, he's going to stay in 4th. We got Jakey currently sitting in 5th. We got Petrohead now in 6th. We got Harracer 7th. We got CRF in the Corvette in 8th. Miss Devious in that Toyota 86 in 9th. Doug in the Lexus in 10th. We got Mike in the Genesis here in 11th. And we got Freak in the Jag in 12th place. But right now the pole sitter Pigham's looking large and in charge here with that Toyota Supra. Alright, everything's looking good on the stream end of things. Fantastic. I'm a little OCD about that. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I just do want the best viewing experience for everybody. So, let me know if something is a little off. We'll correct it as quickly as we can for you. So it is Pigham's. He doesn't improve that time, but still a great lap time there from Pigham's. Bufu Shadara using all that corkscrew as he comes down there. And Petrohead's actually going to come across just in front of him here. So let's jump on with Petrohead. Oh, he's going to let Bufu Shadara by there. Actually, he must have mocked up his lap a little bit. So he does let Boo down, and we got CRF. Oh, and he's going to come into pit lane. So let's go with CRF as he comes around the start-finish line here. He's got Jakey just in front. We had Doug just go through the start-finish line there. So let's see what all these guys have. It's a 28.6 there from CRF. Miss Devious with a 28.6 here currently, as well as her best lap. Doug's is a 28.8. We got Freak with a 29.2. Mike with the 29.2 as well, so very close there are those two drivers, but the 27.4 is the fastest lap on the racetrack. Boo's taking new tires. Let's see what Penelope has here. She's just coming into turns 1 and 2 here right now. Let's find a driver that's a little bit closer. We got Roses coming through here and showing good consistency, 32.6, 28.2 there. No improvements from Roses here so far. Let's see who else. We got lots of cars coming in and out of pit lane. Tells me that this track is going to be a tire eater today. Now, qualifying and racing are two different things here, ladies and gentlemen. It's one thing to qualify. It's a whole other thing to race for an hour long when you have tire wear, when you have fuel consumption all factored in. You have to change the way you drive your race car as you progress through your race. And Pigham's got through there with a 27.419, so even improving it just a little bit more. And he's like, thank you. I'm just going to do that. So that must be the end of the lap here for Pigham's. He may be very happy with that and just figures that that's good enough. And he's just not going to continue to beat a dead horse here at this point. I'm not sure what the thought process is there, but I believe these guys are going to have a couple laps yet. If they choose to take them or not, I guess it's up to each driver. So Pigham's has pulled off into turn 1 there. We're with Roses and Bufu Shadara here currently. Roses is sitting currently in P5 with Bufu Shadara just in behind here. Outlaps? No, Roses is definitely on a flyer. And the Megane, again, it's one of those cars. It's really good handling car here. It's just really tricky to keep this thing at a good speed on these long straightaways. And really the biggest one is where these guys are here in the start-finish line. It's not perfectly straight. There's a little kink to the corner, but a little improvement there from Roses with a 28.205 from Roses there. So it looks like everybody's pretty content here. We got Hairraiser coming through here. What has Hairraiser got? It's going to be a 32, so he's got one more crack at it here. He's going to have his flyer. CRF has pulled it over. Miss Devious made a mistake coming through the kink. I think she's going to call it right there as well. Got Freak coming around here right now. Let's stick with Freak here. He definitely has more in the tank there. We know he does, so let's see if he can come in on it. Is Amateurs going to be alive? I don't think so. I'm going to broadcast the amateur race about an hour after we're done the pro race here. So I will get it up today. It's just going to be a little bit late. A little bit later. I do apologize. Little unsure where our second broadcaster ended up here today, so. So I do very, very deeply apologize to those waiting to look for that amateur race. It's going to be about, what time are we at here now? Let's go with 7 o'clock Eastern time. We'll go live with the amateur race. Alright, we do have Bufushidar who's still on a flyer here, it looks like, as well. He just came off of it there. He is going to sit, looks like, second, so looks like our drivers are all finished up here. 7 laps was that magic number, as I suspected it was. And it was a very, very close battle, so it is going to be Pigham's in the lead here with a 1.7 gap over Bufushidara, who's got 3/10 over just Penelope in third place, who's got 3/10 over Apex Racing's Jakey, who's only got half a tenth over Roses, who's got, pardon me, a quarter of a tenth over Hair Raiser in the Mustang, who's got just barely under a tenth on Doug, who's got 2/10 on Petrol, who's got less than a tenth on CRF, who's got less than a tenth on Miss Devious. She's got 6/10 on Freak, and Freak literally has a fraction of a faster time than that Genesis chasing from Mike here in behind. So that is 12 drivers qualified to start our Pro Division race here today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is presented by the GTRC, the Gran Turismo Racing Community, and I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. So I hope everybody is ready to see a good, action-packed race here tonight. Alright, so while we're taking a look here, let's bring some stuff up here. Alright, standings, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with our manufacturer standings, as we haven't seen the manufacturer standings lately. We're going to just blow them all up here for you. We're going to bring them all into the equation. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, let's start with our Pro Class standings here, since this is the race we're watching. Coming into round 5 is Pigham's leading the way with 72 points. Bufushidara in second with 58 points. Sikkim, who's no longer in the series, still sitting there with 45 points. Miss Devious with 38 points. Penelope with 34 points. CRF with 30 points. And 7th is Roses with 28 points. Petrolhead, they're tied with 28 points as well. Ibra in 9th with 26. And Jakey rounding out the top 10 there with 26 points. Doug and Mike just nipping at the heels in that Pro Division. Drop it down. Let's check out our Pro-Am divisions. Here we got Bar and Bo Snipe tied for the lead coming into today's race. We have Tyrone here with third place, technically, I guess, with 56 points. Type R with 48, 43 for Throne. We got Tap with 41. We got Tagger with 38. We got Juan with 28 points. Magic Man with 27. And Chip rounding out the top 10 right there in the Pro-Ams with that many points. And our team manufacturer standings, which we'll bring back up here in just a little bit. Because it's race time. Kick them tires, light them fires. It's time to go race and chat. So here we go. We're at 3 reds, 4 reds, 5 reds. False start here. Got to be careful. They got to wait for the light. It's a long light. We're racing, ladies and gentlemen. We are off. Here we go. And it is a great start there by Pigham's in that Supra. Not the ideal car here, as Bufushidara does jump into pole position there. Now we know the Ferrari's got a good launch, so not surprised to see that. Here we go, 2 wide through corners 1 and 2. Here's the whole pack. Jakey moves up into P2 ahead of Pigham's there. Just Penelope up into P4. Roses is going to go a little bit wide, a little bit of contact there between him and Petrolhead, but he manages to get it back under control. Ooh. Could have almost seen the big one right off the bat here, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Devious is a little bit deep there. Not sure what's happened there. And she is going to settle right back into the back of the pack. So all the drivers making it through turns 1 and 2. Not perfectly, but definitely making it through. And here we go. It's Jakey and Bufushidara here side by side as we're coming up. No, Jakey's going to tuck back in, and the kink is coming. This is not somewhere where we like to go 2 by 2. You definitely want to come single file through here. Let's see if we all make it. Pigham's is through, Penelope's through, Doug's through, Hair Raiser's through, Petrolhead's through, Roses and Freak are through, CRF is through, Miss Devious is through, so is Mike. Fantastic. We're seeing a great lap here so far on lap 1, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Bufushidar leading by half a second here. Jakey in tow in second place. We're coming into the final corner to start lap 2, so a very good first lap here by our pro division. And it is Bufushidar leading the way with Jakey in second, Piggums in third, Penelope in fourth, Doug in fifth, Hairraiser in sixth. In that Ford Mustang, we got Petrolhead in 7th, seeing some pressure from Roses in that McGain here in 8th. We've got Freak in the Jag in 9th. We've got CRF in that Corvette in 10th place. We got Miss Devious in that Toyota GR86 in 11th place. And a Mike 1972 in that Hyundai Genesis. Let's go, Apex, says Chris Reeves with the 100-star bomb. Let's get a GG's. All right, let's get a hashtag Chris up in the chat. Sorry for that 100-star donation over there on Facebook. Get him, Jakey, says Larry. Hashtag Superman. How it goes, buds? We appreciate everybody here today. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day, and this has been a great first couple laps here so far at Laguna Seca. The field's still very close together. Rose is taking a look, getting some clean air into that race car there, and he is going to tuck right back into the back bumper of Petrolhead in that Nissan Silvia. We got Freak right there. We've got CRF, Miss Devious, and every car nose to tail here through lap 2. We're in for one, chat. We are in for one. Chris coming in with that thumbs up as well. We appreciate you, my dude. Here we go, Bufushidar leading the way. Not surprised to see that Ferrari up front. McLaren right behind there in second place. We've got Piggums here in the Supra in third. We've got Penelope in that Aston Martin in fourth place. Doug in the Lexus RCF, ladies and gentlemen, currently sitting in fifth. Hairraiser in the Ford Mustang, currently sitting in sixth. There's a trend here, ladies and gentlemen. Are we seeing it yet? We do not have two of the same car on the racetrack here. We've got her Roses in that McGain Trophy. CRF has moved up to 8th place with that Corvette. Miss Devious is now up at the 9th with the Toyota 86. Freak dropping down a couple positions here into 10th place with that Jaguar. We've got Petrolhead in that Silvia and Mike in that Genesis. 12 cars, 12 different cars on the racetrack. Joe coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my dude? Gotcha. So, Bufushidar leading the charge. We're starting to get a little tiny bit of spacing here from the drivers, but not much. It's Jakey here in second place with Piggums in third and just Penelope in fourth. And boy, usual suspects up front here very early on in the GT4 series round 5 race, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, welcome in. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Hope everything sounds fantastic and looks great. It is just Penelope here again in fourth place, and she has been absolutely putting on a show out here in the GTRC the last few weeks here. She is quick, ladies and gentlemen. She can drive. She has had some great battles up there with Piggums especially. We have Doug Barrel right here in 5th place, and he's looking a little more comfortable here today early on in this race as well. We've got Hairraiser up into 6th there and Roses down into 7th. So Hairraiser and Roses here now nose to tail as well as they try to catch up that front pack. You got CRF here in that Corvette, just a tiny little gap there, 2-second gap. And he's got about a 1.3 second spread on Miss Devious in behind in 9th place. Tattooed Freak is about a second back from her. Petrolhead is right on the back end of that Jaguar. And then it's just Mike falling a little off pace here with his Genesis. But that's all right. Good race happening here as we're on lap 4 now, ladies and gentlemen, as we come into turns 1 and 2. Appreciate you, Kelty. Alright, so here we go. Bufushidar leading the charge. Apex Jakey right in behind. Piggum still in 3rd place. Our top 3 drivers very close together. Oh, Doug got it wrong. Looks like he kept it together there as we're coming around. That was a great shot by the camera crew right there. Can't believe the camera has survived that long on that sausage so far. We got Roses here in 6th. We've got Hairraiser there in 7th. We've got CRF in 8th. We've got Miss Devious in 9th. Not much changing right now in the backfields here, but Doug having a moment there on the racetrack, costing himself a little bit of time. Bufushidar kicking some dust up in the face of the drivers in behind, going, here, boys, take a little bit of sand in the face. As we're coming around the kink leading into the corkscrew here. Now, the corkscrew is a fun little corner here. It is a massive undulating, elevating, changing corner. It is a scary looking corner. Well, now I want a pink car. See, absolutely. I would too. I have some pink cars. They look fantastic. We have Bufushidar here in 1st. We've got Jakey in 2nd and Piggums in 3rd. Just Penelope, just a tiny little bit off the pace here, but this may be strategy from this driver right now. She's probably just chilling here, sitting, sipping fuel, and waiting for one of these drivers to make a potential mistake in front of her. And Doug has Roses now, so Roses is back up into P6. He's gotten back around Hairraiser in that Mustang, and that McGain starting to show its strength here around Laguna. Hair Raiser here in 7th. Now that Mustang definitely has the power, but cornering not so much compared to that little car up in front of him there. As you can see, Rose has got a really good run on Doug up ahead there and almost got into the back end of him there coming into corners 1 and 2. He had to lay off just a little bit. Got CRF here in 8th place. Miss Devious starting to slowly but surely climb back up to the rear bumper of that Corvette ahead. Petrolhead here, just a little bit of separation between him and Miss Devious there. Mike here in 11th and Tattooed here in 12th place. So little mistakes cost drivers here at Laguna Seca. All it takes is a wiggle, and when you're close racing like this, with like this battle right here, just Penelope moving herself up into 2nd place as she slingshots around Apex or Piggums here. In taking 2nd place from Piggums here. Oh, that caught me off guard. But Piggums, he's taking a peek here. Is he going to respond? No, he's just going to settle in behind. And he's just trying to get some clean air into that race car. That's why we're seeing him bob and weave like that. But now she's got Bufu Shidara in her sights. Can she track him down here as he's looking really strong currently leading the race? Pretty much right from the get-go. He got out ahead of our pole sitter Piggums and he hasn't looked back since. We got Jakey and Doug here now in 4th and 5th place, and Rose is in the mix here, so a nice little 3-way battle. Let's jump on board with Doug as he's trying to hold these, 4 or 3 drivers off in behind his. Hair Raiser's joining the party here now, and Jakey's going to take a little look there. No, he gets a good exit, though. He is right on the back end of that Lexus, and here we go behind our 4th place driver, Doug Burrow, currently, as Jakey's going to take a look on the right side here. Can't quite see him yet. Oh, there he is. Hey, Jakey, what's up? And Jakey's goes really deep into the corner. Is Doug going to hold him off? It does appear so. And Jakey's going to tuck her right back in. No cut back there as Alexis gets a great exit out of corner, too. It was a great attempt there by Jakey to take him on the outside. Very tough move to pull off. And Alexis up for the challenge, so good defense there by Doug. And you can see her as they just backed off this just a tiny little bit here, just in case one of these drivers got things wrong, and that's not always the worst of ideas. Doug can still see the 3 drivers up in front here as well, so right now it's about time management and trying not to over battle here for Doug right now. You don't want to lose that front pack. Come on, Tack, get focused up, keep pushing. Let's go, Devious. Woohoo, go Pink Car Penelope. Pink Car is Penelope, you are correct. We got Apex Jakey here. This is his vantage point as he is in the middle of this battle sandwich here right now for 4th, 5th, and 6th place, and he's being very patient here. He's in a tough spot being right in the middle. He's got real no aero advantage here right now with these cars just sucking it up, and it's going to be Roses taking a look up the inside here, coming through this sector. Very tough sector to navigate. Does he have the room? That's going to give Jakey the inside for the next corner, and Roses cannot get the job done. Well defended there by Jakey. We got Razor off the track. Is he going to survive? It does appear so, but he's going to have some dirty tires as he overshoots the corner, and that is going to cost Hair Raiser some positions right there. Ooh, CRF getting it a little bit wrong there too on exit. Let's go check out this backpack. It's looking pretty spicy back here as these drivers are absolutely battling hard here for 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Miss Devious now up into P7 with a little bit of misdoings from a couple of the drivers coming out of the final corner there. Petrohead right tucked in behind in 8th place. We got CRF. We've seen him have a moment coming out of the final corner there. He's going to settle back into 9th place. Genesis now up into 10th place with Mike here. Freak is up into 11th, and Hair Raiser dropping all the way back down to P12 with that one mistake. Entering into the final couple corners here at Laguna Seca. That's all it takes when you have tight pack racing like this, ladies and gentlemen. And Hair Raiser finding himself all the way at the back. That was very close. That was some nice driving right there, but it is just Penelope now in the lead. She is saying, see ya, boys, catch me if you can. So she has now taken over the lead of this race here on lap 7, and it's now Bufu Shidara and Piggums chasing her here in 2nd and 3rd place. So Bufu Shidara now chasing the pink bumpered car of that Aston Martin. We got Jakey here in 4th place. Rose is still hot on his heels here in 5th place. And this is a good little battle these two cars are having here. McLaren seems to be a little bit more powerful on the straight run, but McGain is definitely holding its own in the cornering here against the McLaren. Now the McLaren's a pretty good handling car to begin with, so Rose is doing a fantastic job in this McGain trophy here currently. Doug in that Lexus, so that power really starting to pull him back up to these cars in these straightaways. Come on, Razor, cut through those dirty tires. Miss Devious with a half-second track limit penalty here, and that's going to be devastating. That could cost her potentially 2 positions here, depending on how close these drivers remain coming through this racing sector here, the first 2 sectors, and then she'll have to serve that penalty right after the kink, right before the kink, I can't remember. So CRF here, he's going to try and stay tucked right in behind Petrol and let Petrol hopefully close in on Miss Devious, and that should be a couple of free positions for both those drivers. We got Mike here in 10th place, and Freak is right on his tail here. We've got Hair Razor in that Mustang in 12th place, and now it might be a little bit of conserve tires and fuel for those drivers that are finding themselves a little bit further in the back and hoping to get that time gain in pit lane. So the next question, when are we going to see our drivers stop? For the most part, we've been seeing a lot of one-stop strategy style racing in our pro division this season in the GT4 Championship. I expect to see no differently today. However, Laguna's a tough track. These drivers got to survive about 21 laps, question mark, to make it halfway to the race. So I guess we'll see how close our math is on that once we get to that point. But right now it is Penelope leading with Boo Fushidara here currently sitting in 2nd place, and Pigham's here in 3rd. So our podium finishers literally nose to tail here as we start lap 9 on Laguna Seca. We're 12 minutes into our race. We have McGain Trophy out wide. That's going to give him some dirty tires. That's going to give Jake a little bit of breathing room here coming into turns 1 and 2, as Roses is going to have a little bit less grip coming into this hard corner, hard braking sector here. So Jakey has a little bit of advantage to try and gain some time away from Roses there and get him out of that slipstream. We got Doug in 6th, Petrolhead very close behind in 7th, CRF in 8th. So Miss Devious indeed does lose 2 positions there, having to serve that half-second track limit penalty, and now she's back on the chase here again. And Mike in 10th place, Hair Razor's moved up into 11th place. Ooh, and Freak that Jag just catching that track there and managing to keep it together. That was a great save there by Tattooed Freak here in that Jaguar. Oof. Tough racing here today at Laguna Seca, ladies and gentlemen. Tough racing. Hey, appreciate you, Paul. Yeah, Penelope, get it, she says. Alright. Penelope is ripping right now, but Boo Fushidara has closed in. He is right back on the bumper of that Aston Martin, and Piggums is right there in tow as well in 3rd place. So these drivers, they're not giving each other a millimeter here on the racetrack right now. And Jakey here in 4th place has gotten a little bit of separation from Roses here now. He's trying to catch back up to that front pack. He may need Roses potentially to here come and work together a little bit with him, maybe to make that happen quicker. We'll have to wait and see. We've got Doug in 6th place here, and he's doing a pretty good job, but right now he's got Petrolhead starting to close in that Sylvia. Again, another one of those cars we expect to see be pretty good here around Laguna Seca today. We have the Corvette driven by CRF here. He's doing really well so far in 8th place. Miss Devious in 9th place, holding top 10 points here currently. Mike in the Genesis trying to hold off that Ford Mustang here, and behind him with Hair Razor and Freak very close behind here in the Jag. 20 seconds separating last to 1st place here currently on the racetrack. Now remember, drivers on different strategies here as well. Hey Miguel, how you doing? What time does the race start, bro? This one starts at 8 UK, 3 p.m. Eastern time, every other Saturday, so it's every other weekend for this one. And then they run a mini series in the off weeks for a little fun series. It's usually a road car or a fun little car, something a little bit different than your typical race car, alongside the big series in the off weeks. That's what we run. So there's a couple of series running pretty much round the clock here at GTRC on for every Saturday. So there's always something happening, that's for sure. We do have Boo Fushidara chasing here, and this is just kind of keep pace with the other drivers in front style racing right now for our leaders. It's not necessarily about battling. I think what's happening here is if one makes a mistake, the other ones just take advantage and just swap the position around. We've got Roses now up in 4th place, so Jakey's clearly made a mistake somewhere along the way here, and that's allowed Roses to get the job done. So Doug here still holding down 6th place, but Petrohead definitely on his tail, maybe looking to get the job done here around Doug Burrow. Let's stick on with the 7th and 6th place battle here for a minute and see if Petrohead can get a move done on Doug here. Stream host Pro and Paul coming in with the hearts on stream. Chris coming in with that share, the extra support. Appreciate you, my guy. Absolute clutch this guy is, Mr. Chris Reeves. What a legend this man is when he pops into the stream. So here we go as we're coming around the corner again. This is a kind of a full speed corner if you got the brass ones to do it. If not, for the most part, it's usually just a little lift to get the car to rotate to the apex or right back on the throttle. Ooh, little contact there between the two drivers, and it's side-by-side battling there, and I don't think Petrolhead wants to take the position. He doesn't. He's just going to brake enough to give that back to Doug there. He didn't mean to get into the back end of that Lexus, but Doug did a good job there keeping the car in the right direction. So fair play to both these drivers here, and really not losing a whole lot of speed in the process as well. So great job by these two. And ooh, CRF looking like he went a little bit deep coming into the top end of the corkscrew here, but he does manage to keep it on track and lose a little. He's just going to lose a couple tenths to these guys he's chasing here right now in 6th and 7th place, but great job there. He definitely went a little bit deep into that corkscrew sector there. Would you get off my computer news? I don't care. Do you run them on Saturdays so it doesn't interfere with F1 races? That's just when the league operates their races. That's a good question. We'll have to ask them that. That is it could be. There's lots of F1 fans in the community, so there we go. Doug is going to go defensive here. Not surprised to see that. He's trying to get as much room as he can to get the better angle, and Petrolhead's going to get to the cutback here. He goes up the inside on Doug, and he just slips it in there, but the Lexus is going to get the run coming into corners 3 here. Here we go. Battle on between these 3 drivers, and that allows CRF to really close up the gap here. So now we've got a 3-way battle for 6th place here. We got, oh, legends, everybody, legends. We got a massive shout out to Chris Reeves becoming a supporter here at GT45 Gaming. My man, that makes you epic legendary. Thank you so much, my dude, for that extra level of support. OGs right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a GG's Chris up in the chat for extra level of support, becoming that monthly supporter. We appreciate you, my guy, more than you know. We love you, my man. Appreciate that. CRF here in 8th place. We got Mischievous in 9th. We've got Mike here in 10th. Hairraiser in 11th. Freak coming out of pit lane here. So, little bit of a different strategy coming from Freak here maybe than the rest of the drivers. I'm not sure. New badge. Let's go. Now I really got to get my button gear and get these pages set up. So it is just Penelope still leading the charge here now as we start lap 13. So Bufu Shidara led the first 7 laps. Now just Penelope has taken over leading here in the race. Bufu Shidara currently sitting in 3rd. So Pigham's moved back up into P2 here. We have Roses slowly but surely closing the gap in here on Bufu Shidara in 3rd place. Jakey just a little bit behind in tow, and that little bit of a wide exit there by Roses isn't going to help him, but Jakey almost followed suit. And here we go, side-by-side battle between CRF and Petrolhead. And Petrolhead doing much of the same thing we've seen against Doug, but this time successful. The Sylvia is going to get the job done and move himself up into P6. So great move there by Petrolhead as he took his advantage. A little switcheroo coming in from turn 1 to turn 2, and he is going to get the job done. So that was a great move there by Petrolhead. Mischievous just in behind here in 8th place, now closing in. Doug in 9th. Must have had a little bit of a boo-boo here on the racetrack, dropping a couple positions. That's allowed Mike and Hairraiser to start to close the gap up here on Doug as well. And then we got Freak in P12 here. He did make a pit stop, so out of sequence with the drivers here currently right now as well, ladies and gentlemen. But it's just Penelope, and she, eating a little bit of dirt right there. You seen it twitch the car out on her. She was really fortunate it didn't kick all the way sideways on her there. That could have been bad news in the work in there. So great save there by Penelope, and she's gonna tuck that thing on the apex, make sure there's no room for a move, as Apex Pigs was closing in 2nd place. So we've seen a few position swaps here on this podium so far. Bufu Shidara sitting here currently in 3rd place, and Ferrari is very, very fast around here, but Ferrari is also very, very spicy around here. So it's a combination of risk versus reward with that car, but when you get it right, it definitely pays dividends at lap times. Got Jakey here in 5th place. CRF currently running in 6th with that Corvette now, and I'm not sure what happened to Petrolhead, as CRF has gotten that position back from Petrolhead, so I'm making a great move there and giving it back up. Doug here in 8th. We got Mischievous. She's moving a little bit slow. She's getting some pressure here from Hairraiser, and she's going to hold the position for now, but now she's got Hairraiser and Mike sitting here right on top of her in those 2 bigger, powerful cars. So let's see what happens here, as Miss Devious is absolutely trying to tear up Laguna Seca in that Toyota 86 here. It has been an up and down race for several of our drivers here in the mid-pack especially. Hairraiser here in 10th place. Mischievous got a good run through the corner there. She opened herself up a tiny little space from those drivers, but Mike is still all up in the back end of Hairraiser here. nice little three-way look here as we come up into the corkscrew section. Let's jump on board for the corkscrew here on Mike as we're coming in, and this is all you see, and then all of a sudden, boom, the corner just drops out and you're turning right. It is absolutely well, I mean, your gut in your throat kind of feeling in a literal sense. Just the G-force from the amount of elevation change in the drop of the corner alone. Never mind the speed that these drivers are driving, plus the force of the car, you know, going through the physics of the corner as well. It's got to be a wild ride, without a question of a doubt. We got Freak looking, getting that Jag looked at here in pit lane here as well, but it is just Penelope. Let's stick on board with our race leader here for a lap around Laguna Seca, as just Penelope is on lap 15 here. We just came around corners 1 and 2 and 3, so we're coming into, I believe this is corner 4 now. Just looking at the track map, I believe this is corner 4. Devious being devious. Facts right there. So it is Penelope here, and she came around that kink at a pretty good, relatively good cruising speed. But Biggums, I mean, he's right there. She will not shake this driver. These two drivers specifically have been battling tooth and nail for about 5 weeks in a row here now. So we're going to see probably much of the same thing from these two drivers, I think, in this race as well. As Penelope's just got a couple of corners left here. That was corner 10 right there. Then we come into corner 11, and this one really could make or break position here on your lap. And we've seen it a few times already today. A driver goes deep, or you miss that apex and you leave that hole open, and that's enough for a driver to get a run and potentially get the inside line coming down into corners 1 and 2. So we'll stay on board with our leader here through the first couple of corners, and then we'll gel and check out what's going on here in the rest of the race. So that's what it looks like. That's what a half-second gap looks like here at Laguna Seca. It's about a car width between the cars. This is what a half-second is. Bufu Shadar is just a little bit off the pace here currently right now. 2 seconds back. He's got Roses starting to really put the pressure on him here in 4th place as Roses continues to slowly but surely close in on that Ferrari. Got Jakey here in the McLaren in 5th place, and maybe some of these drivers are starting to think about fuel and what they need to do to get to the halfway point of this race. We have Petrolhead here up into P6 and CRF at 7th, so starting to close back in on Petrolhead. But these two have been swapping positions, it seems like, every other lap here, as I'm not sure if one of them just keeps making a little mistake and the other one gets through freely, if they're actually battling that up. But Doug very close behind here in 8th place, right behind these drivers. We got Mike in the Hyundai Genesis here, he's in 9th. Got Mustang in 10th, Misdevious not too far behind here in 11th place, and Freak here in 12th. But it is just Penelope leading the way here, as well, she's doing what Penelope does and controlling the pace of the race currently here. And Piggums potentially maybe could get a move done around Penelope. It's really hard to say. We know the two are super closely paced. But again, strategy playing in. Probably sitting there just sipping on some fuel in behind just Penelope, letting that car punch the hole in the air for him. But the Aston Martin is a little bit better on fuel than that Supra is as well. So maybe Piggums needs that little extra help to make sure he's got enough in the tank. Ooh, and he gets it wide there. He does a great job at keeping it on the track, but now he's going to have the dirty tires. They're not going to want to hold this next corner. You can see Car was really fighting him as he tried to rotate the corner, and that's going to open up the gap there from Penelope to Piggums by about 3/4 of a second currently. Bufu Shadara and Roses here now really close together, nose to tail here, so this could be just Bufu Shadara doing a little bit of fuel saving and tire saving here currently. And Roses is caught up, but maybe Roses doesn't need to worry about fuel saving. He may just be able to send this thing for 30 minutes. We don't know. We'll find out soon enough, ladies and gentlemen. So we've seen a couple of pit stops from a couple of our drivers here so far, but not sure if that's a scheduled strategy style pit stop or if it was just something that needed to happen there. PG wearing that bumper out, making sure he keeps his car close in the mirror. Absolutely, he is absolutely working that Supra here right now. 6th place is CRF. We got Petrolhead here in 7th. We've got Doug in 8th. We've got Mike in 9th. We've got Hairraiser in 10th. Misdevious just coming out a little wide out of the kink there in 11th and behind. Looked like it gave her a good run though on that Mustang as she came up the hill there. And you can see that Toyota 86 was all kinds of out of sorts coming around that corkscrew there, and that's going to allow Freak to close up a little bit here. So Alright, so we're going to be heading into a sequence of pit stops here relatively soon, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see. Let us see what we see, shall we? So it's just Penelope, lap 18. She's now led 11 laps of this race here so far, out of the 18 laps raced. Bufu Shidara, being the other driver who's led the rest of those laps at the beginning of the race, did lead the first 7 laps of the race, where just Penelope decided, nah, I'm going to take the lead here. Ooh, and it looks like we had Bufu Shidara making a mistake in the background there around the kink, so it does look like Rose is going to take a P3 here currently right now sitting on the racetrack. Bufu Shidara is going to drop down to P4 there. He managed to scoop it up pretty quickly there, but definitely made an error coming into the exit of the kink leading up the hill to the corkscrew there. Now, any race car driver you talk to, any real race car driver that has raced and has experience with Laguna Seca will tell you this. The corkscrew is scary for the very first time. You do it once you get it right once, it's not scary anymore. You're used to that feeling. The most dangerous corner on this racetrack, and any real race car driver will tell you this, is the kink leading uphill to the corkscrew. That corner right there is just bad news. It's one of the most scariest corners on the racetrack. If you talk to any real-time race car driver that has driven on Laguna Seca, they will tell you that the kink is way more scary than the corkscrew once they have a few laps under their belt. So just a little bit of fun facts there for you. These corners, they're very treacherous. They're very treacherous. I mean, we're surrounded by sand here, and sand is no good with racing tires. They don't get along too well. So here we go, battle with Petrolhead and Doug. Petrol going on the defense here. Is he going to hold a nice tight line? He is. He's not going to let Doug get any kind of form of cutback in on him here, but Doug's just going to close the gap up under braking and through the corners there. So Doug does a really great job at closing up the gap there, but Doug's going to go really wide, and that's probably going to potentially cost him position here from that Genesis driver behind, as he's going to have a hard time to hold the corner, and he does actually a real good job of getting Alexis around that next corner and keeping the Genesis in behind. Mike had maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there to grab position on Doug for P8 there, as he had the dirty tires. He could have got that traction down, and here we go. Are we going to go side by side into the kink? No. He backs out. He's like, nope, wait, hold on. I'm just going to tuck back in behind here and do this another time. And that was a good call there by Mike, and there we go. By doing that, Doug goes a little bit wide into the kink, and he manages to get the position in the next corner anyways. Doug doesn't lose anything but a little bit of time in a position there, as he manages to keep it on track, but it is going to be P8 there for Mike in the Genesis now. Misdevious there in 10th with Razor in 11th, and Freak there in 12th place. So there we have it. Just as we say it happens. Magic Man, how it goes, bud? Vic coming in with that thumbs up. How we doing, my dude? Absolutely, that little left-hander has no qualms putting your butt into the dirt, especially if you try to cut and hit that little sausage curb. Oh, the sausage curb. Sausage curbs and Laguna Seca and race cars, not a good combination. That usually ends up in a wrecked race car. The drivers are more than well aware of that here that are racing on the track, obviously. And ooh, Roses almost got it wrong there. He was dipping the old shoes in the sand there. He was fighting with fire there, and manages to keep it together here. So he is closing in now on these on the leaders here. So McGain Trophy looking very strong here today. We got Boo in 4th place with Jakey chasing here in 5th, and this definitely fuel conservation mode for some of these drivers at this point. We have CRF here in 6th. We've got Petrol in 7th. We got Mike here in 8th. We've got Doug in 9th. Misdevious here in 10th. We've got Razor in 11th, and we've got Freak. He has made a pit stop. We did think he made a pit stop there. He did take some fuel, and he did take some tires there. So Freak on a slightly different pit stop strategy than the rest of these drivers. Boy, oh boy, that was some sideways action from all 3 of our leaders here as they came around that final corner to start lap 21. So looks like we're about right. We're figuring about 21, 22 laps was the target here around Laguna today to get to that halfway point. It looks like it is going to be 21 laps to get halfway around this race today. So we should see about a 41, 42 lap race finish here. Rose is in 3rd place. We got Bufu Shidara in 4th. We've got Jakey coming into pit lane, and well, we see why. He has no choice. He is on fumes as he's coming into pit lane, potentially coasting into pit lane here, as the guys are going to put the car up on the jacks and get those tires on and get that fuel top back up. We got CRF coming into pit lane. We got Doug coming into pit lane. We've got the whole works coming in. We got Misdevious coming in. We got Hair Razor coming in. Freak pit a while back there, so he's looking to grab some time back from those drivers now since he's in a different pit sequence. Things are heating up now. Oh, they are heating up now. Not wrong. Alright, little stream metric check real quick here as we're doing our round of pit stops. And while we're going through that, let's bring those graphics back up. Now, I know these ones aren't as pretty as what High Priest sends us, I'm sorry. But, hey, here's the manufacturer standings currently as it comes into round 5 here. Now, we haven't had these up because they were lost in translation, so to speak. We got them all caught up here. So, currently it is Team Toyota Supra in the lead of the manufacturer standings with 111 overall points between Pro-Am, Pro-Am lobbies. The BMW is in second with 97 points. Ferrari is in third with 91. We have Team Lexus in 83, tied for fourth place with Silvia for 83 points. Ford Mustang in 6th with 70 points. Mercedes in 7th with 64 points. Toyota 86 with 61. Chevrolet Corvette with 60. McLaren with 53 points. We have the Jaguar with 49, followed by Genesis with 47. Aston Martin with 46. Megane with 45. And then the Porsche and the Viper with 13 and 3. So you can see some of the cars don't have full-time regular drivers here, which means they're not really collecting a whole lot of points towards the manufacturer standings. So we do have Penelope now in pit lane. Piggums and Roses have stayed out, and they're just coming around here right now. So we have an overcut-undercut situation. Bufu Shadar is in pit lane. Mike's coming into pit lane. Penelope's just topping off that car right now. Petrohead's in pit lane. He just got some new shoes. He is going to be ready to do some racing here real soon. So it is going to be interesting to see where it all settles out here once it all comes to fruition, so to speak. So it is a Piggums in the lead of the race with Roses here in second. That will change. These two drivers need to pit, and you can see they're going to come into pit lane here right now. So just Penelope is in third place and should retain the lead back. It all depends on how that in-lap from the two drivers in front was. So let's see which strategy paid off better, the undercut or the overcut here today, as Penelope is about halfway around the racetrack here now. It's probably close to a minute pit stop once these guys get these cars fueled up here. So she's got some time. She definitely has some time to catch up. We doing good, stream host. Sorry, brother, I didn't see the comment. My apologies, my dude. Accept the Discord friend request I sent you too, so I can set you up with the other gentleman. Alright, so it is just Penelope. Let's see where she comes out in relation to the other two drivers. She was a minute 2 behind them when they came into pit lane. I figure it's about a minute pit delta here, so this is going to be very, very close. We're just waiting to see where they're at. They're still in pit lane. I can see him still sitting there. She comes around the final corner. It's going to be a race around turns 1 and 2 here, I think, ladies and gentlemen, as she is going to leapfrog him here currently, but I believe both those drivers have now just left pit lanes, and there they are, side by side. They got to go around pit lane a little bit slower, but it is Roses coming out ahead of Apex Racing's Piggums here, and it's going to be just Penelope who's going to stay in the lead of this race as she's at race pace here. The other two drivers are coming out on cold tires. This is absolutely perfect for just Penelope, as the undercut seems to be the winning strategy here so far today. She comes back out in the lead by 0.6 of a second. Roses here in second, does get ahead of Piggums here in third place. Bufu Shadar is still there in fourth. The gap is about the same, so let's see what he can do here. We got Jakey in 5th place. We got CRF in 6th. We've got Petrohead in 7th. Doug in 8th. Mike in 9th. Miss Devious here in 10th. Hairraiser in 11th. And Freak here in 12th as he's coming down the corkscrew here right now. So it is game on, ladies and gentlemen. The pit stops are finished. We're halfway through our race. This is when things really start to heat up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, girl is taking these boys to school right now. Love it. She is absolutely schooling these boys around Laguna right now. Rose is here. Ooh, and we talk about the sausage. He got a little piece of that sausage there, boy. And you seen how hard it bounced that car. That could definitely affect the suspension, the toe, the angle, the camber, all these things on these race cars. So I gotta watch the sausages. They are aggressive here at Laguna Seca. And that is probably an example of why we don't hit the sausage curbs at Laguna Seca. You've seen what it did to that Megane trophy. Bufu Shadar coming down through the start-finish line here right now. The fastest driver on the racetrack was Roses. And just as I was about to mention it, Bufu Shidara coming and popping in a 127.8 there, so he's now the fastest driver on the racetrack here currently. Apex Racing's Jakey's coming through here in 5th place. He's got a little bit of time to make up, but not too far behind there. CRF is just coming around the final corner here. Now that's where the big gap is. So the front half of the group is split from the back half of the group here slightly. Petrohead here in 7th place with Doug chasing in 8th. We've got Mike here in 9th, and Misdevious is very close in tow here in 10th place. Hairraiser in 11th, and Freak here in 12th. And these big, powerful cars need they need a big, long racing racetrack here to take advantage of that horsepower. They have been struggling on some of these technical racetracks here this season, but that's why we have a good combination of racing racetracks for the cars. So one car could be potentially better than the car that they may have lost to the race previous or before. So definitely changes up the way things go down here. All right, I'm off to get me a big clucker for supper. I'll catch you all again shortly. Cheers. Happy chicken hunting, my man. Happy chicken hunting. So it's just Penelope. Ooh, and Roses goes wide. Is he going to keep it underneath of him? He is, but that's going to allow Piggums now to close up here side by side. Roses is going to have some dirty tires here. It's going to be very hard for him to get down on the power, and that Supra is just going to drive by him here. That McCain stands no chance against Superpower right there on a straight drag race, and that is exactly what happened. Supra is going to tuck back up into P2 here, and Roses is going to drop back into the P3 spot. Piggums is definitely aware that he has the turning ability here, and he's going to go semi-defensive into the corner here. He's going to make sure he closes off that second apex. You can see Roses really closed in on the Supra in the corners. That also allows Bufu Shidara to close up a little bit in the Ferrari. And Jake here has made up a tiny little bit of time on Bufu Shidara, but not a ton. Just a couple tenths last time around. CRF here in 6th place. We've got Petrolhead here in 7th. No immediate pressure, but Doug is definitely lurking there in the review mirror. We have Mike here. Same thing for Doug. He's just there in the review mirror, and much of the same for Misdevious chasing Mike here currently. He's there, but he can't quite. Doesn't have to worry yet. He doesn't have to worry yet. Flashing the headlights, so we appreciate you, Misdevious. Hairraiser here at 11th place with Freak in 12th. So it is just Penelope leading the charge here. Team Chevy is in a good spot to gain some ground on that manufacturer standing. Keep pushing. CRF, hashtag booty beat down. Bowtie beat down, my bad. Just Penelope here in 1st place. Piggum's very close behind here in 2nd place. That McGain trophy has definitely been holding its own here at Laguna Seca. He is driving the absolute doors off this car right now as Roses have Bufu Shidara here in the Ferrari, and right there, just looking at the podium in front of him there, he just needs to catch up to it now. Jakey starting to close in on Bufu Shidara, so a mistake may be made by Bufu Shidara. 3.5 seconds is the gap, so 3 seconds gain that time around. From Jakey to Bufu Shidara, we have CRF here in 6th place. It's about a 20-second gap there. So he's kind of just really got to worry about this man here chasing. And ooh, he almost got it wrong. He almost got it wrong. He really needs to get on the brakes, get around this corner. He's going to have a hard time to get this car hooked up. He's going to have some dirt on those tires. That's going to allow Doug and that Lexus to really try and catch up here. And he's going to bring Mike with him with the Genesis as well. Misdevious is just coming around that corner. Oh, and the 1 second penalty is going to kill all her momentum coming out of the exit here. And that's going to be a tough lap there for Misdevious, so that's going to allow Hairraiser to slowly catch up here a little bit. And it won't let me see Freak. Okay. Not sure if Tattoo Freak is having some issues here as far as connection-wise goes, or what's going on there, but it won't even let me show his car. I may be partial to Team Chevy being a Chevy guy. Fair enough. So it is just Penelope leading. Piggums starting to squeeze a little bit, starting to close in. He's making sure that she's aware that, hey, I'm still right here, remember me? Roses is right there in 3rd place, just a hair out of the draft right now, 1.1 seconds behind. He really needs to utilize the middle part of this racetrack to stay in that slipstream range. Bufu Shidara, 4.3 seconds off the podium pack. Jakey, 3.5 seconds off Bufu Shidara. Very closely paced are these two drivers here currently. CRF in 6th. We don't have any immediate battling happening here on the racetrack, so this might be a good time to talk about Laguna Seca here, I think. We got Freak sitting in pit lane there. Alright, let's bring up the track map, shall we? Alright, our beautiful track map provided to us here again. And by the amazing Ms. Devious. We do appreciate all her amazing work that she does for our broadcast here at GT45 Gaming. So, let's talk about Laguna Seca here for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? As you can see on the track map there's a little key at the bottom left hand side of the corner, so there's a little blue circle with an arrow in it. That is where the start finish line is, and of course the direction of the arrow is the direction that we're going to be heading around the racetrack. So on the bottom center of the image on your screen is the start finish line. You'll see that little blue circle with the arrow in it. We're going to be moving right to left, in a sense, counterclockwise, ladies and gentlemen. So that leads us into turn 1, which is essentially that little kink entering before we enter the double hairpin corner, which makes that turn 2. Now that whole corner is turn 2. It's a double apex corner. It's a very long, sweeping 180, maybe 190 degree corner, which leads into turn 3, which is about a 90 degree right hand. I wouldn't say sweeping corner, more of a right angle corner, which leads us into that more high speed, off kilter, say 30 degree corner of corner 4. That takes us in underneath the next bridge into corner 5, which of course leads us up into what we keep talking about, that kink. So you come around the left-hander here, corner 4, lots of speed coming up the hill. You get up underneath the bridge, and then the hill drops out. At that point where the hill drops out, you're thinking about either being a little toe tap on your brake, or you're already off the throttle to take the kink, and just let the momentum of the car kind of really take you out to the exit curve. From there we run uphill into turn 7 and 8, the corkscrew, the famous corkscrew, ladies and gentlemen. We come down that corkscrew, we have that very undulating left-hand corner, almost like a double corner. It's so sweeping long. And then we make that run into turn 10, which is our final right-hand sweeping corner, and then a very, very tough, hard braking left-hander to take us back up to the start-finish line straight. And that corner is easily a 200 degree corner. It looks a lot less sharp than it actually is when you try to drive around it. So some notable mentions here about Laguna Seca. I'm keeping an eye on the track, don't worry, we're not missing anything yet, ladies and gentlemen. Note 1 there, of course, in turn 2, it does state that turn 2 is a double apex hairpin. It is slower than it looks. Positions can easily be gained and lost there, and we have seen that today. We've seen some good moves made coming into turn and out of turns too. The next note, of course, is our corner 3 here. So turn 3 is much sharper than it appears. The driver need to keep their speed in check until they've exited the turn. Even just a bit too much speed and the driver will be out in the dirt, and of course that'll contribute in a suffering lap time, ladies and gentlemen. Note 3 heads up into turn 4 of the racetrack here, and it says turn 5 starts to climb up the hill, so drivers want to carry as much speed as possible as they exit. And drivers who fail to get it right may become a target as they climb the hill, and that is another good passing zone. You get a good run on the driver in front, you get a poor exit there. It's very easy to power up beside that driver and get around them coming into your next sector. And that leads us into section 5, and that's the kink. We've been talking about the kink a lot today. With a sausage curb at the apex and a sand trap on the outside, turn 6 feels like the road narrows in on our drivers. Drivers must assess the risk versus the reward. The risk, full send the kink. The reward, great lap time. The risk, by full sending the kink, you go deep into the sand, you wreck, you spin, you wreck the race car. We have a little bit of a battle brewing here between first and second place, so we may just drop this banner here for a second. Touch base. I'm just developing it here real quick. It looks pretty good. Alright, let's keep going here for a second. We'll get back to the action in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that leads us into point 6, the famous corkscrew, ladies and gentlemen. The famous corkscrew turn. Drivers will drop 59 feet, the equivalent of 5.5-story building, from turn 8A to turn 9. So from the first corner of the corkscrew to the second corner of the corkscrew is a 59-foot drop. The last part of the corkscrew is an additional 50-foot drop, with a grand total of 109-foot elevation change in the corkscrew alone. That's equivalent to a 10-story building. So these drivers, from top of the corkscrew to the bottom, have dropped 10 feet in elevation, ladies and gentlemen. Turn number 9, the rainy curve, is still like most turns, slow in, fast out. Turn 9 trips up many skilled drivers, especially when wet. Expect passes to be made there. That is a great passing opportunity corner. And turn 11, our final corner, is basic and yet easy to get wrong. Races have been won and lost there, and that is 100% facts right there, ladies and gentlemen. I am a big fan of Laguna Seca and watch a lot of real life racing there, and that is the case. So we do have a developing battle between Pigums and just Penelope here. Roses is still right there, but the half-second penalty really hurts him. That's going to probably allow Bufu Shidara to start to put a charge on him here as well. And Jakey here still in 5th place. We have CRF still in 6th. Petro still in 7th. Doug still here in 8th. We got Mike in 9th, but he's closing in on Doug. We got Misdevious here in 10th. We've got Hairraiser in 11th. And we got, looks like Freak having an issue with the car. And it looks like that car might be done here today. Getting a good run out of turn 11 is really hard. So easy to spin there by getting on the power a bit too early. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better myself, dude. So here we go. Coming in and out of turn 2, moving into turn 3, ladies and gentlemen, is just Penelope and Pigums, and Bufu Shidara has now gotten around Roses for P3 here as well. So as I suspected, that penalty was gonna hurt Roses, and now it's Bufu Shidara back on the podium and Roses chasing. Something tells me this battle isn't done yet here tonight either. We got Jakey here and we got the camera crew working great there, and we just lost a great shot. Way to go, helicopter cam. But it is game on. We have 14 minutes, a little less than 14 minutes remaining in this race today. And it is on between Penelope and Pigums. Here we go again. These two are so closely paced. It just creates absolutely great battling between these two drivers. They're patient. They're smart. They've been studying each other. And let's see what round 5 has between these two drivers here. This is the 5th week in a row we see these drivers battling for the win here currently on the racetrack. Lots of race left though. Anything can happen here still, but right now it is definitely the Penelope and Pigum show again here today in round 5. So kudos to these two. They have been absolutely having some great fun out there racing. Bufu Shidara and Roses here. They're starting to close in. This may very well, potentially, maybe, question mark, be a 4-way battle for the race win before this is over. We'll have to see what these drivers have in store for us today. And Jakey, he's in 5th place. He's only 4 seconds behind Bufu Shidara. Not really seeming to gain. He's just seeming to stay pace, which is good for him. CRF here in 6th place. Again, having a good race here for Team Corvette today. He's just chill. He's got no real immediate pressure right now. He just needs to stick to his paces here. Petrohead with a half-second penalty and behind him. That's going to hurt. Mike has gotten around Doug for 8th place here, so that's a position gain for him. Doug must have made a little bit of a mistake there. Misdevious is about 9 seconds behind Doug here currently. We have Hairraiser in 11th, and again, we have one car in duress in pit lane here nearing the end of this race. Super unfortunate, but it happens. That's racing, folks. Alright, so it is Penelope, and she is absolutely been ripping around this racetrack, and now it's pressure time. Pigums is going to start to apply the pressure here. We're a hair under 12 minutes remaining. We're at the 48:15 mark here currently in the race, so things are definitely going to start kicking off between our podium sitters here right now in both groups, and it's only 1.4 seconds between Bufu Shidara and Roses here currently. Now we're seeing some pretty good teamwork happening between Roses and Bufu Shidara here to try and catch these two up front. Just Penelope gets a little bit of a break on Pigums there. She must have got a really good exit out of the rainy curve, not the rainy curve, turn 11 there, sorry. Rainy curve is the curve, of course, right after the corkscrew. Bufu Shidara here is in P3, and again, Roses right there, but not putting pressure on. It seems like these two are really trying to gain up on that front pack. 1.6 seconds now is that gap. We're going to keep monitoring that here as this is going on, and really the race right now is between these 4 drivers here. So, I mean, we're going to stick with them here over the next few minutes and make sure we don't miss any of the great action here, because we're going to see some battling. It is without a question of a doubt. It's just a matter. Oh, and Roses up into P3 here. What happened to Bufu Shidara? He must have made a mistake again around the corner and just lost that car a tiny little bit there, and he's going to float really wide there to maximize his exit. But now it's Roses back up to P3, and that's allowed Jakey to kind of gain some time here. So, oh boy, Bufu Shidara is one of those drivers chasing in the championship points here this season, and right now that is not what he needed. He had that podium position in sight. Now he has got to work to catch back up to that podium position. So let's see if he's got enough in the tank and got enough in the car for another 10-minute push here to try and catch back up to Roses in 3rd place. Just Penelope here, a little bit of damage on that front left side of the car as well. She must have gotten into something or someone somewhere along the race here, but still doing really well, leading the way. We have Pigums here in 2nd place again. Now Roses in 3rd, and he is absolutely just sending that McGain around this racetrack. Bufu Shidara very quickly back on that Ferrari horsepower though, and he is tracking Roses down. Hijiki here in 5th place, and he's trying to track Bufu Shidara down here as he comes around with that McLaren. CRF here in 6th with Petrolhead in 7th. We've got Mike here in 8th with Doug in 9th. We've got Miss Devious here sitting in P10. Hair Razor here in 11th. And yeah, it looks like Jag in trouble here, but that's all right. That'll still be a 12th place finisher for that Jag if he can't get himself back out. So Team Jag still picking up points here. And I mean, every point matters in a long championship season, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that, especially us racers. But just Penelope has opened it up a little bit here on Piggum. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works out. We got 9 minutes left. We're going to see 6 more laps. So we're at about the 40-41 lap range here, ladies and gentlemen, for today's race. It's Roses here in P3, and Bufu Shidara is very quickly closing. Bufu Shidara wants that podium back, and he is looking for it as he's chasing Roses down, and there it is. It's a freebie here for Bufu Shidara as Roses got Rainy Curve wrong, and it cost him there. And now he might have himself a nice little battle here with Jakey as well, as Jakey is knocking on the back hatch of that McGain trophy. So big mistake there by Roses very late in the race, and that could be a costly one. CRF coming down the corkscrew here, and there we go. We got a battle between Petrolhead and Mike all of a sudden has just found another gear in this Genesis, and he is just tracking these drivers down in the mid-pack right now as he's looking for another position before this race ends as well. So Team Genesis fired up here right now and on the loud pedal here, but Petrolhead's doing a good job of keeping that Sylvia in front currently. Doug here in 9th place with Miss Devious in 10th. She is closing in on Doug here as well, and Hair Razor rounding out our final running car order here, and one car currently still being looked at by the crew. So it is just Penelope here in the lead, and Piggum's starting to close back up here, so half a second is that gap. Bufu Shidara is back into 3rd place, and boy, what an up and down race for that final podium position over the last 10-15 minutes has been. The weather is getting very hazy. It's getting very gray around these drivers here. It looks like we have something starting to move in here. Is it going to affect our race finish here today? Because boy, those clouds are rolling in. The track is cooling down. These drivers are on worn out tires. Anything can happen here. Anything can happen. Bufu Shidara, 3.9 second gap now on Roses in 4th place. Jakey's just a second in behind. Right now, I think the big battle is definitely between 1st and 2nd currently, and it looks like 7th and 8th place between Petrolhead and Mike as well. Not quite as tight together as these two are, but definitely still nose to tail are those two cars. So we've got 2 really good battles for position happening here currently on the racetrack, and we don't know which one we should be watching first, but whew, both the leaders right there getting it into the greasy part of the racetrack, dipping those tires in the sand and really fighting fire and trying to look for every little bit of extra ounce of speed that they can get to try and get the job done on each other. And here we go again between these two. Bufu Shidara is in 3rd place, and he's watching all this happen. He's like, come on guys, start battling, get me back up there. We got Roses here, 3.7, so slowly gaining on Bufu Shidara. Jakey losing a little bit of time here. CRF still in very good shape there. Petrolhead in 7th, 1.3 seconds behind is Mike with that Genesis, and then we've got Doug and Miss Devious here. And it's been a good race here. Hair Razor in 11th, and again, it's not letting us go past the 12th place driver for some reason here. Alright, so it is just Penelope, and she's got a sizable gap. For these two, that's a sizable gap. Half a second. It doesn't get much bigger than that between these two for the most part. But we're down to 5.5 minutes, just a little over remaining in this race, ladies and gentlemen. And it's getting racy around here, that's for sure. Just Penelope is putting on some great pace here, as she is making sure that Piggums is not going to be close enough to get an opportunity to get a nose inside coming into a corner here. Oh, she made a little bit of a mistake, it looked like there. Into the first part of turn 2 there, and that allowed Piggums to close up, but then she got good power down right away, and it kind of pulled the gap back, so maybe a little bit of a lag issue we saw there potentially as well. Roses has definitely lost some time here off Bufu Shidara here now, and Bufu Shidara is on a tracking mission. So is Mike in that Genesis as he's coming up very close in behind Petrol here again, and we may see that rejuvenated. A half-second penalty here for Doug. That's going to kill his run up into the start-finish line here and allow Miss Devious to gain just a little more time on him there again as well. but it is just Penelope here in the lead of this race, and Pigham's chasing. This is going to be right down to the final lap here, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the way it's been between these two again, week in and week out here over the last few weeks. So Pigham's got a little bit squirrely coming down the corkscrew there, but he managed to keep the car underneath of him, and it didn't look like it really cost him any time here either. So Pigham's closing up. Oh, that was so close. He is right underneath the skirt of that car right now as he was just about pushing her around that corner. And here we go. Pigham's is using a little bit of late braking to try and close up the gaps in the corners here. And it is race back on, but Bufu Shidara is closing in. He is lap by lap just tearing into these drivers up front here right now. Almost a second faster than the leaders currently here on the racetrack. Roses is still the fastest man though with 127.826, so that's a bonus point there for him if he can hold on to that. We got Apex Racing's Jakey here in 5th place. We got CRF in 6th. We've got Petrolhead here in 7th with Mike in 8th, chasing Doug here in 9th and Miss Devious in 10th. And you can see those two have closed right back up there with that penalty having to be served by Doug. Hairraiser's just in behind Miss Devious there as well. So it's tightening up all across the board here, chat. At what point did the driver's chasing position say, okay, I saved what I could, right now it's time to push? As the talk clicks down, I'm sure that voice in their head is going to get louder and louder. Absolutely it is. And I mean, we're down to 3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We're down to it. And it's battle on here for the lead. So we're going to see a couple more laps. Pigham's is definitely putting the pressure on Penelope here now. She's going to take a semi-defensive line here. She is more than aware that Pigham's is right there looking for a way around. Ew, I didn't know if he was going to take a look there. He didn't take a look there. That's not, it's a great place to make a move, but he wasn't set up for the right angle there, and Bufu Shidara is chasing, so these two leaders really need to pick their battle very, very carefully here, ladies and gentlemen, over the next couple minutes. And here we go. Lap 39 right now, ladies and gentlemen, and it is just a break the slipstream, do everything I can to try and keep this driver behind me situation for Penelope here right now. And for Pigham's is turning into the same thing. I'm trying to play offense, but I need to start worrying about playing defense. The more and more I try to try to strike for the lead here, because Bufu Shidara is within a second. He is now become a part of this battle. So it is, ooh, and Pigham's is going to eat a big line of dirt there. That's going to suffer on those left tires for traction here coming around this next corner. That might allow Bufu Shidara to close up a little bit more, and this is becoming a three-way battle for the lead. We're not leaving, chat. We are staying right here. It's go time, baby. There it is. We lay it all on the table, all in. Check YouTube chat. 10-4. Which YouTube chat? Oh, holy moly. That's alright. They're all friends over there. You're good. I'll take a look at it here in a bit. Appreciate you, Nick, coming in with that thumbs up. Got some good spice happening over there on the YouTube channel right now, that is for sure. It's not updating again on my software. This is really getting old fast, but here we go. Three-way battle for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. We've got, this is it. Final lap here, right here, ladies and gentlemen. All or nothing between first, second, and third place. Bufu Shidara is going to go on the outside of Pigham's here. It is race on. Bufu Shidara looking for that P2, and right now Penelope's like, yeah, boys, keep battling back there. Keep on battling. Love to see the community always chatting with each other too. We love it. We love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. All right, here we go. Bufu Shidara is now in second place. He has got the job done around Pigham's here. So now the drivers are trying to catch just Penelope. We got half a lap remaining. We're coming around the kink, the ever so elusive kink. Penelope gets it right. Boo gets it right. Pigham's gets it right. Corkscrew time. Here we go. Penelope, she's going to come into the corkscrew in the lead. Is she going to come out in the lead? Everything is on the line here as you guys come around one last time here. We're coming into the ready curve, and it is Penelope still in the lead here. We're coming around 2 corners to go, ladies and gentlemen. Corner 10 right here. Penelope with a good sizable lead. Pigham's putting the pressure on Bufu Shadar in behind. One more corner. Here we go. Is there any time for anybody to get in? Penelope is going to go defensive. Make sure she cuts that entry line off. And it's going to be the best car wins here. And look at this finish, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be just Penelope finished by Bufu Shadar. Very close to behind by Apex Racing's Pigham's. 1, 2, 3 finishing nose to tail here today, ladies and gentlemen. It does not get any better than that. But side by side, Roses with a very close 4th place finish. Apex Racing's Jakey's going to come in and bring Team McLaren home in P5 here today. CRF with an absolutely great race for himself here today as well. He's going to bring it home here in P6. Great points for Team Corvette here today. Ooh, that is how we finish races here at the GTRC, ladies and gentlemen, week in and week out. It never changes between some of these drivers, and there it is again. Penelope and Pigham's with Bufu Shadara all right there. And boy, I bet you those three are going to have a lot to talk about here today. CRF's going to bring this thing home in P6 here today. He's going to take that checkered flag. And Mike's going to bring Genesis home in P7, so he does manage to find his way around Petrolhead here. And he was on a very late charge with Hyundai Genesis car today, bringing it home in P7. So great finish here for Mike with Hyundai today. And that checkered flag is all there for you, my guy. Petrolhead coming around in P8 as well. Miss Devious has managed to find her way around Doug here. And those front tires definitely looking worse for wear. It's going to be a P9 finish here for Miss Devious. And it's going to be a P10 for Doug. And he's just going to swing that thing across the finish line. Hair Razor does come across P11. It will be a P12 finish there for Apex Racing's Tattoo Freak. Yeah, I read it. Whew. What a race, chat. What a race. Penelope, Pigham's, Bufu Shadara. I mean, these three drivers, they are just so closely paced. It's incredible watching these drivers race each other like that. And Bufu Shadara, it's always been there in him. He's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time and just been a little bit out of this fight for the lead here in the GT4 series so far. But he was in the thick of it here today. And that was a spicy race right there. That was a spicy race. Get him, girls, silly boys. The highest step on the podium is for the girls, says Chris with the 60-star drop. Let's get a hashtag Chris up in the chats, everybody. Absolute legend, Mr. Chris Reeves is coming in with the star bombs today, becoming a supporter here at the page. I mean, dude, you're an absolute legend. We appreciate you. So much love coming from the GT45 Gaming fam. But it is just Penelope with the win here, and a victory lap earned for our UK driver here today, ladies and gentlemen. She's quick. Can't wait to hear what she has to say for us here today. So, much like it has been through previous rounds, just Penelope will give us a write-up, and she'll send that to us, and of course we'll read that on her behalf. We will have Pigham's and Bufu Shadara most likely in the interview room here in just a couple minutes' time. So we'll give them a couple minutes to find their way into those podium interviews. You got to get them out of the car. They got to get unstrapped. You know, they got to celebrate with their team a little bit, and then they'll come and have a little chat with us here. So GG's to Penelope there. That was a fantastic race right there. Saving our replay. Beautiful job. All right, unofficial results. They're not official until, of course, there's a process. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers have 24 hours to report any incidents on the racetrack. From there, of course, it goes to the stewarding staff. The officials will take a look at it. If necessary, they'll assess penalties, and from there, if there is penalties assessed, the drivers have a 24-hour process from the time that the incident decisions are released to appeal that decision. If they choose not to appeal that decision, then we will post the standings within 48 hours of the appeals process. So that is our process here. So unofficially, it is just Penelope with the race win here today. It's Bufu Shadara coming in second place. Pigham's here in third, despite the Roses in fourth place, but he's taken fastest lap point home in his back pocket here today with a 127.826. Jakey comes in fifth place. CRF in sixth. Mike in seventh place. Petrolhead here in eighth. 9th place is Miss Devious. 10th place is Doug Barrow. 11th place will be Hair Razor. And 12th place will be Tattooed Freak here in the race today. So 12 drivers start. 11 drivers finish running on the track. One car having a mechanical issue in behind the wall here for pit lane. And that is race over for Team Jag, unfortunately. But hey, These cars, they go through a lot of stress and a lot of duress. They wear out, they break down, they have issues. That's why we have pit crews, ladies and gentlemen. The racers can't do it without their teams. They can't do it without their mechanics, all the computer wizards out there, and everything behind the scenes that happens to keep these cars on the track every single competitive weekend. So much love out to all the volunteers, the teams, and everybody out here to make this happen. Can't do it without you. Community has done so much for me, brother. It's the least I can do, just paying it forward, my guys. Some community is second to none. Facts. Top 3.7 off each other down to the wire. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's throw you over to our podium interview screen here. We get some desktop audio rocking and rolling for everybody. All right, let's go check on our driver interview chat. We do have Abu Fushidara. We're just going to wait on a piggy here. Alright, Penelope's got us a little write-up sitting there. She answers questions on the fly too as well, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe we're going to do something a little bit different here today. Let's get you guys and gals out there that are watching the race and hanging out with us all race long, get a little bit involved. We'll take a question from the viewers here as well when we start our podium interviews today. So I'll introduce the driver. Why don't you amazing viewers think of a question here, and we'll pick one of the questions for each of the drivers, and we'll ask them the question. Well done, Pigum, says Chad. Penny, hell yeah, says Viola. We love it, everybody. All right, so we're just gonna give Pigums another minute here to jump in. If not, we'll go talk to Boo Fushidara in the meantime. That does seem to be, that's right, we'll talk with Boo Fushidara. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll talk with Boo Fushidara, as we do have him in the interview room here already. So he got out of his race car awfully quickly and into that interview spot. So congratulations, that was a really great race you had there. It was an up and down race for Team Ferrari here today. You had the lead for the start of the race. You're looking real good, and then just a couple little mistakes here and there, and found yourself dropping a position, gaining back, dropping position, gaining it back, and then made sure you had enough race car left underneath you at the end of the race, and put up an absolutely great fight there for podium position. So talk us through your race today. How did it go for you?
Thank you very much. Yeah, a bit messy from my side, but there was a couple of moments where I was getting pushed wide into turn one. No, not turn one, turn two. Battling. I was hoping that Roses would have worked with me instead of battling me, so we could both be up fighting Pen and Pigs a lot sooner, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, a couple of mistakes early on pushed me a bit further back than I would have wanted. But I was managing fuel anyway, so I wasn't really concerned about it. I thought I'd let the drivers in front do their race, and whatever they did, I'd follow. So I saw Pen pit early on, so I thought I'd follow her in. I know I had another 2 laps worth of fuel to go with. I thought I might make it up in the pit stops, the lack of pit stop time. But she underfueled. Maybe I should have done the same, but anyway. But yeah, no, it was a scrappy race, but glad to have crawled it back to P2, so didn't go up, didn't go down. I don't know. I love the track. I think it's mega. Whenever I've fallen off, it's my fault. I never blame the track. I don't think it punishes or rewards anybody unduly. You give it enough respect, you get into a rhythm with it, and it's a hell of a ride. It's a hell of a roller coaster. Every bend. I mean, I know everybody talks about the corkscrew, which is fine. I mean, it's a chicane, a very blind one with a very sudden drop at the end. But no, I think it's mega. You can definitely battle on it as long as everybody gives each other a bit of room. Yeah, I think it's great. I love it. I'd love to race here every day.
I agree with you. This is actually one of my favorite racetracks, not only in real life but also on the GT7 platform as well. So well done to start with. Now this track, obviously, it's a much tighter racetrack. It's a lot smaller racetrack than we have been racing on at the beginning of the season. A little more narrow, so definitely falling in favor of our more handling style cars today. So the Ferrari feel real good around here for you today.
I don't want to blame the car. It's I say by the blame the car. The car's fine. I'm still getting to grips with it. I'm wearing out the front. I sound like I'm making racer driver excuses. I'm not making excuses at all. It's all me. I'm the problem. I'm the loose nut behind the wheel. It's I need to get used to it. I'm trying to drive the car how it doesn't want to, more how I want to, which is on the nose. It doesn't like that. I need to be more patient. I think it's coming to me now. So this track, if this is the highest or the most demanding front axle track that we've got, then I'm happy. It's only uphill from here. Assuming downhill or whatever. It's only up from here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's still nonetheless, you had a great race today, and we had a good question come in from one of the viewers here. So I'm going to fire this off, and we'll leave it to you. He goes, after making a couple of mistakes and fighting back, what is your mindset pressing on to make sure you don't compound mistakes and make it worse? And good drive out there.
Thank you very much, whoever that was. Appreciate that. Oh, it's just a mentality thing. Whenever you make a mistake, it's about not trying to make up for it. I think we discussed this last season or in the GT3s. It's a case of not trying to make up for it. It's done. You've made the mistake. Reset. Focus on the next part. Just a mental reset. Don't get frustrated. I mean, at the moment, I'm cursing underneath the helmet or in the behind the screen. It's definitely tricky by trying to get too hot-headed. Don't let the adrenaline get you. Don't start making mistakes that aren't needed, because it will, like you said, compound the errors in the race and just sort of drop you further and further back. So just reset, go again, keep hitting your marks, and just do what you do.
Absolutely, and you're right. We did touch base on this actually at the end of the last season with what was it, the Porsches, I believe it was. So yeah, we definitely touched base, and again, another great answer here from you as well. So let's talk about the next round. We're hitting the halfway point of the season with the next round here in a couple of weeks' time. And ladies and gentlemen, you're definitely going to want to tune into this one. We're going to be heading down to Australia in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be heading down to Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst. And we're not only going to race it for 60 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to race it for 90 minutes here for round 6. So let's talk about that. What, I guess, does your mindset change in getting preparation for the race, knowing it's longer, and of course just knowing the nature of the racetrack that you're coming up against?
In terms of preparation, nothing changes. I go into every race exactly the same, try and learn from the mistakes from the previous race, build on what went well, and just build on race by race. I treat every season the same. I treat every race the same. It's no different. In terms of time, extra time, love it. I love being behind the wheel. I think the hour races are a bit short, if I'm honest. By the time you get into the groove of it, and you saw towards the end, another 20, 30 minutes towards the end of this race would have been, well, I don't know, anything could have happened.
I don't disagree with that. You three up front there were definitely ready to put on a show for a lot longer there, it looked like. So
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. Unfortunately, the timer ran out, and there was nothing more to be done. Pigs was making a comeback. I think Penn and Pigs were slowing each other down. I don't think it would have caught them up, so maybe 3. Anyway, to go back to the question. Yeah, nothing changes. Same as before. Try and maximize the stint, see where it lands you. I will say this, that I will be missing the next round because I'm away on holiday. So everybody else can enjoy not having me on the grid and not having to worry about me being around. So I'm sure some of the drivers will be pleased to know.
Well, I mean, yeah, especially the ones chasing you in those championship standings, right? I mean, those are the guys that are probably most happy to hear that that's happening. Oh, you're going to miss a round? Ooh. So it's going to hurt you a little bit, but we know you're a high caliber driver, and we know that when you come back, you're going to be ready to put that work in and make your charge. So I'm fortunate to hear that you're going to miss the Bathurst race because it's going to be a doozy, but hey, real life is going to take precedence first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie to you guys, but it's one of my least favorite tracks is Bathurst, so I'm kind of happy it's worked out. It wasn't planned. There's just a few things I want to go down, spend time with the family, but yeah, it just worked out that it's Bathurst. I didn't even look at the calendar, so but yeah, I'll look forward to watching the race anyway.
Well, absolutely, and I mean, we'll always look forward to having you in the chat with us too. It's always a pleasure. And again, thanks for coming in and taking some extra time after the race. Let the team sit there and continue to celebrate without you. Any shoutouts and thank yous before we go?
Family, friends, anybody watching, the person that sent the question in and said nice drive, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hopefully, the next time I'm on, at least, give. I was going to say more of the same, more of the comebacks, less of the mistakes.
Absolutely.
And massive shout out to the to Pen. Massive congratulations to her. She deserved that win. She was pretty much faultless. So yeah, shout out to her. Unlucky to pigs, and yeah, look forward to seeing them all on track next time.
All right. Well, cheers and appreciate you. It was another great race for Team Ferrari and good points towards those team standings as well. So. Great job today.
Thanks very much. Speak to you later.
You betcha. All right, we're not running away quite yet, though, ladies and gentlemen. We still have two other drivers to talk about here yet. We do have Piggums. Now, Piggums is not in the interview room, so he must have had to run, which is absolutely fine. Piggums, he says the same thing, right? Race in and race out when he's on the podium. First and foremost, he's going to congratulate Abu and Penelope, of course, for their race finishes here today. It was some great racing. Piggums is a competitor. He likes to compete. He likes to fight. He likes to battle. He likes to race. And with him and Penelope and today Bufu, Shadara, and Rose is in the mix there for quite some time too. That's fun. To Piggums, that is just absolute fun. That's joy. He loves to race. He loves to fight. He loves to battle, and nothing better than battling for podium positions all race long. So he'd be really thrilled, and he may have talked about maybe a couple of mistakes he may have made that could have changed the results slightly, but overall, Penelope is a true competitor here in the series, and she is not going to make it easy for Piggums to take a championship home. Piggums has a little bit of a lead right now, but just Penelope's cruising up those standings awfully quickly, so I don't know if anybody has an answer for just Penelope quite yet, but Piggums is definitely searching for it here as he had yet another great battle with just Penelope and Bufu Shadara, but today ending up on the final step of the podium here, so congratulations to Piggums. Another great race from Piggums and another podium finish again for him today, so we can't really complain too much about that as a race car driver. And then we have our winner, ladies and gentlemen. She has come into the series just a hair late to the series this season, and she has come in with a bang. She is absolutely making every single one of these drivers in this pro lobby step it up a notch. She's here to compete, she's here to fight, and she definitely most certainly looks like she is here to win, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what she had to say here today about her race. She goes, once again, one lap pace is not the strength of the Aston. The key of her race was to control the pace and do it from the front. Passing on this track is very difficult, so she tried to do her best to get out front as soon as possible. The launch for the Aston is very weak, so not much she could do going into turn 1, but the mistake by Jake allowed her to catch up. Then it was just a matter of being calculatedly aggressive on Piggums. Boo seemed to have lost his tires late in the first stint and made a mistake. Once I was in front, managed to pace until the pit stop. I underfueled heavily to ensure I maintained my track position. From there, it was just to manage the race to the end. Very difficult race. I am glad it's over. She just learned her teammate made a third in the Pro-Am race, so that's fantastic. Stay tuned for that. That'll be coming later today here from GT45 Gaming as well, ladies and gentlemen. So double podium for Aston Martin, and she would like to thank the boys at the factory for the slightly heavy fuel hungry but winning machine. We appreciate you, Petty. That is absolutely great. Yeah, she is listening. Do any of the viewers have a quick question for Penelope here before we go? I really hope everybody enjoyed the race today, because this was definitely a good one. These drivers, they never disappoint here at the GTRC. They always put on such great races for us. So huge love to all the drivers on the racetrack, not just our podium finishers. Obviously, they get a little extra love because they finished at the podium. But, much love to all the drivers. We can't do this without our drivers. We can't do this without our community, you guys and gals out there watching at home, the viewers. We appreciate you, all our drivers, for being there, taking part, putting on a great show, and all our viewers coming in, hanging out, cheering on our drivers, allowing them to put on a good show. We can't do it without all those pieces in place. So, to everybody out there, we thank you for that as well. Now we're just giving a minute here to see if any questions are going to pop in real quick. There we go. We got a question coming from Chris Reeves from Facebook here. If you're still there, Penelope. He goes, how does it feel to stick it to the boys? Pretty simple question right there. John coming in with that thumbs up. Much love, my dude. I appreciate you. We'll just give a minute here for a response. That's a good question, Chris. That's a good question. I can't wait to see what the answer is for this one. Girl power showing strong here in the GTRC right now. We're absolutely thrilled to see some of the women coming in to compete this season and compete in the leagues and race as hard as they're racing this season. And I believe we have a debut from one of our female drivers in the Pro-Am division this season here as well. So, we're starting to see more and more women sim racers come out here and start, showing the boys how it's done. And boy, oh boy, has Penelope been doing that. Has Penelope been doing that? She is still there, Chris. You're going to get an answer. It's gender neutral. What a great answer from Penny. She goes, it's gender neutral. She goes to competition. The competition is great on track. That's it. Being a very smart, decisive answer right there from just Penelope. So she's going to keep it real simple. She's going to keep you guessing. My guys. So, and I agree. We do try to approach the series in that sense as well. It's a lot of fun seeing the gender neutral racing going on here at the GTRC. I hope it continues on throughout this season, of course, moving forward into new seasons and future events as well. So we appreciate all our drivers. Doesn't matter what you believe or what color your skin is or what makes you a boy or a girl. It does not matter. Here it's all about the racing. It's all about the competition, and at the end of the day, it's about the community, the family, and the vibe, and having fun. I think these drivers are having fun out here. It looks like it, because they wouldn't be putting on such great races for all the fans at home if they weren't having fun. So, transitions take time. Transition with having sponsors step into the series has been a little bit overwhelming for some, maybe a little bit of a head turn for others, but transition is starting to happen here at the GTRC, and it's looking real good here on the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. So with growth comes pressure, and with pressure comes a whole lot of excitement. So we're seeing some excitement on the racetrack right now from both our divisions. It doesn't come down to just this pro division. It definitely comes down to both our divisions. This is a team event, so together we also have that manufacturer team prize at the end of the season. So there's so much more for these drivers to really be racing for here than just sticking it to the boys or sticking it to the girls. They're here, they're focused, they want that championship, and they want those top dog rewards at the end of the season. So much love to all our drivers. It doesn't matter who they are once they're behind. Oh, such a great answer from a true racer right there. Penelope just says, it doesn't matter who you are when you're behind. Catch me if you can. We race as one? Absolutely. 100p. 100p as a community, and it's nice to have the ability to be able to do it like this, to take it up a notch and broadcast it. So for myself, to the communities, I appreciate you for allowing me to do what I do best and entertain families at home while they're bored on a Saturday afternoon, because the GTRC definitely does that. I mean, what else can we say? It was a great racing. We seen nose-to-tail action from the whole field for the first 6-7 laps of the race. We started to see a little bit of time separation splits. The pit stop sequence went out. It tightened things up a little bit, and then it kind of opened it up a little bit in the mid-pack. But some good hard driving and some good hard loud pedal capabilities, and we had ourselves some battles right at the end of the race there. Driver of the day today, you know, it's really hard to call that one out. I'm gonna have to feel like it's that Hyundai Genesis driver of Mike Mates today. If we had an award for that, that's what I would give it to today myself personally. I feel like that late race drive from Mike Mates was absolutely fantastic, and he really did gain up a lot of time in a couple of positions to really gain himself a good finish here for Hyundai Genesis today. So that's who I would pick today. I feel like he had a great race today. It was patient, and it paid off for him in a car that maybe wasn't up to expectations maybe of the driver and the team on the racetrack here today. So as we stated, ladies and gentlemen, Pro-Am Lobby will be, oh yes, there is prizes at the end of the season for our drivers, Viola. Our top 3 finishers in each division are fighting for solo championships, and our podium finishers all receive something from our sponsorships here with Apex Racing and, of course, myself, GT45 Gaming. Let's talk about our sponsors here. I haven't said it all broadcast. I keep forgetting because I'm one of the sponsors. So from there as well, we're also have a team manufacturer and team standings awards. So whoever wins the overall team points, manufacturer points, will be given an award for that as well. We also are providing a most improved driver award for one driver, not one from each division, just for one driver this season as well, and that's going to be a plaque that driver is going to get. And a couple of other fun little things that we're not really releasing right now. They're kind of a secret. They're hush-hush. And, of course, some really great personalized merchandise as well coming to our finishers here as well for all the above said. So big prize pool here for our drivers this season from Apex Racing and GT45 Gaming as well. So first and foremost, huge shout-out to the sponsors coming in, stepping in a bigger role here at the GTRC, and recognizing what kind of great racing happening is here. Huge shout out to Hypre Graphics. This guy's a legend. He does all our overlays, all our graphic works here, with the exception, of course, of our track maps, which are provided by Miss Devious, one of the great administrators here at GT45 Gaming. And the little loop that you guys are watching here, I just make from home. It takes just a few minutes. So you know, it takes a team to make a dream. And you don't have a dream without the team. So teamwork makes the dream work, ladies and gentlemen, and what a great team here we have in combination of GT45, Apex Racing, and the GTRC right now. Bigger, better things are coming here for GTRC in the future. I see it. They can see it in the reactions of the fans and how the racing is on track. So much love. Congratulations to all the competitors on track here in our Pro Division today. Again, we're going to bring the Pro-Am Lobby in 2 hours and 14 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back live with our Pro-Am Division via replay, so we will get that race out to everybody today here as well. So at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we should be hot with our Pro-Am Division race for everybody. We appreciate y'all. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, what we always say here at GT45 Gaming is kind of our little catchphrase here: stay winning. Keep your heads up. Stay positive, ladies and gentlemen. You know, with struggles brings strength. With pain comes strength. And hope is not ever lost. Stay positive. You have a family here always willing to pick you up when you are down. Reach out. Our doors are always open. We love you. Remember, you all matter. We'll see you soon.